Hey guys, what's up? My name is Noah, and just to clarify some stuff up front, I don't think anyone really cares, but these images that I use in these videos, I just pull off of the internet, so I don't take any claim for these images whatsoever. I just pull them at random off the internet. But anyway, um, let's hop right into it. Today we're going to be going over basically she asked us to be able to identify certain things on a cross section of a leaf. So, um, really what I'm going to be doing is explaining what these different things are. Now, the first thing, this is an image that is similar to that in our book. The first thing you're going to encounter is the cuticle. Now, if you've ever examined a leaf that looks similar to this, you'll notice that it's kind of smooth. And that's because this is a waxy covering, basically, which it's a waxy covering which basically helps prevent against water loss and that sort of stuff. And because it prevents against um, water loss, I can't spell today. Because it prevents against water loss, it kind of it just helps contribute to the overall growth. Now, it lies on the epidermis of the plant, and it also protects it against other damage. So if you have like a coyote or something that brushes up against it, it's not going to totally destroy the inside of the leaf or anything like that. Now, the epidermis um, is simply a layer. You have a top epidermis and a bottom epidermis, and it's basically a layer of cells which lack chlorophyll. So basically, there's going to be no photosynthesis here. So it lacks chlorophyll, and it's primarily for protection, right? The same thing as the cuticle. The cuticle is basically just to hold the water up. Now, you have kind of the vascular tissue running through here, and you have the main vein, and then you have two different types, xylem and phloem. Now, xylem is vascular tissue which carries water and dissolved minerals within a plant, and it primarily carries nutrients and water um, up from the roots. That's its main job. The phloem carries mainly sugars, sometimes water and nutrients down to the roots. And this is so that it can use the energy from those sugars to grow. Sometimes she mentioned in class, Mrs. Ligon mentioned in class that sometimes they reverse and they help the xylem out with bringing water up, but that's only when they really need it. Now you also have a structure here, this outer protective kind of holding the vein in. And what this is it's called the sclerenchyma. I'm Sclerenchyma, yeah, that's it. It's just pronounced weird. I'll go ahead and write that up. Sclerenchyma. Alright, now this is a plant cell type with a basically it's for structurals. It's basically a cell type for structure. And you can see that being implemented here because it's really just for the structure of the vascular tissues. It's to say, okay, here's where you are. We don't want you moving, at random through these just different mesophils. We want you, to be in a certain area. So that's what this is. Now you have two different types of mesophil, spongy mesophil and polycide mesophil. And normally what you'll have is polycide spongy or polycide spongy polycide. Basically it's just two different layers. This has air spaces in between them, and this has no air spaces. That is an important difference to recognize. So basically, they're column-shaped cells that line up side by side, and what that does is it permits a large number of cells. As you can see, this is much more packed than that. to be present in a small surface area, and they have abundant amounts of chlorophyll that go up and then down, and then up and then down, and up and down. And what that allows is the most sunlight to hit the chlorophyll and for it to produce as much energy as it can. Now the spongy mesophyll has spaces so they don't have as many chlorophyll getting light, and so this is basically like a backup mesophyll almost. It provides structure, it provides chlorophyll, but you don't want too much chlorophyll because then you'll have too much energy coming out. Many vertical leaves, as I mentioned earlier, have 2 layers of this polycide, one at the top, and then you'd have another one down here, and then spongy in the middle. But anyway, now what you have are guard cells and stoma as the 2 final parts. Now the stoma are air openings which allow gases like carbon dioxide and oxygen into the plant, so you'll have CO2 and O2 going into the plant. In guard cells, what happens is potassium goes into them, which makes water go into them, which makes them puff up like this, and it makes them open. And that happens at the beginning of the day. At night, the potassium leaves, right? The water leaves with the potassium, they close. That's how that works. So I hope this video helped you guys, and it moves because of that concentration gradient that we learned about. Basically, there's more potassium there, which means you need to get more water there. There's less there, so you need less. But that's the basics. I hope this helped, and if you have any suggestions, let me know.